In the uninhabited Aksai Chin Plateau of Ladakh, they constructed a road across Indian territory. Indian patrols were fired upon, killing many.
Today, we have an immensely important subject to discuss: the India-China-Pakistan Shaksgam Valley dispute. This complex issue has captured global attention, and we're here to explore its historical context, current situation, and potential implications for nations and the wider world. To understand the China-Pakistan Shaksgam Valley dispute, we must turn the pages of history. Dating back to the mid-20th century, tensions emerged between these two Asian countries regarding territorial claims in Shaksgam Valley. The origins of the dispute can be traced back to the period when British India was partitioned into India and Pakistan in 1947. At that time, the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, ruled by Maharaja Hari Singh, had the option to join either India or Pakistan. The Maharaja initially chose to remain independent but later decided to accede to India. However, China also claimed sovereignty over parts of the region. In the case of Aksai Chin, China controlled the area since the 1950s, and constructed a strategic road called the Aksai Chin Highway connecting Xinjiang and Tibet. This led to increased tensions between India and China, which ultimately led to a war in 1962. The 1962 Sino-Indian War was fought primarily in the eastern sector of the dispute, with China making military advances in Aksai Chin. India suffered significant territorial losses in that conflict. Following the war, a ceasefire was declared, and both sides established a line of actual control, LAC, to separate their forces. Since then, the border dispute in the Kashmir and Aksai Chin regions has remained unresolved. The LAC serves as a de facto border between the two countries, but it is not officially demarcated or mutually agreed upon. Both India and China have continued to claim sovereignty over the disputed areas, leading to occasional military standoffs and tensions along the border. We all somewhat know this, but there is a little bit of confusion, because why Pakistan succeeded the Shaksgam Valley region to China, which is a dispute between India and Pakistan. Let's know the less talked about treaty happened between Pakistan and China. In 1959, Pakistan became concerned that Chinese maps showed areas of Pakistan in China. In 1961, Ayub Khan sent a formal note to China, but there was no reply. After Pakistan voted to grant China a seat in the United Nations, the Chinese withdrew the disputed maps in January 1962, agreeing to enter border talks in March. The willingness of the Chinese to enter the agreement was welcomed by the people of Pakistan. Negotiations between the nations officially began on October 13, 1962, and resulted in an agreement being signed on the 2nd of March, 1963. It was signed by Foreign Ministers Chen Yi for the Chinese and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto for the Pakistani. China was accommodating to Pakistan's positions during the negotiations. For example, according to Pakistani diplomat Abdul Sattar, after the border alignment was already agreed upon, the Pakistan side realized that grazing lands falling on the Chinese side had historically been used by inhabitants of Hunza. Zhou Enlai agreed to amend the boundary to add 750 square miles to the Pakistan side to preserve this historic use. China's accommodating approach in the negotiations was motivated not just by the desire to resolve boundary issues. China also wanted to demonstrate its desire for calm borders, and its peaceful intentions generally, and China wanted to use a successful conclusion to the boundary issues with Pakistan to portray its border issues with India as a result of India's intransigence. Now that we see that Pakistan and China have reached an agreement, what is in this agreement? I have compiled some key points about the Sino-Pakistani agreement. Territory and borders. The agreement focused on resolving the border dispute between China and Pakistan in the regions of Aksai Chin and the Shaksgam Valley. Aksai Chin is a disputed territory between India and China, while the Shaksgam Valley is a disputed region between India and Pakistan. Ceding of territory. Under the agreement, Pakistan ceded control of the Shaksgam Valley to China. In return, China recognized Pakistan's sovereignty over the territory of Pakistan's occupied Kashmir, which Pakistan called Azad Kashmir, and the northern areas now known as Gilgit-Baltistan in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Boundary demarcation. The agreement also included provisions for the demarcation of the border between China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. The specific details of the boundary demarcation were not publicly disclosed. Strategic considerations. The Sino-Pakistani agreement had strategic implications for both countries. China gained a strategic land route through the Shaksgam Valley, connecting its territory of Xinjiang with Tibet. Pakistan, on the other hand, strengthened its ties with China and received support in its territorial disputes with India. Strategic importance. The valley is strategically significant due to its location in the Karakoram Range and its proximity to the Siachen Glacier, which is the world's highest battlefield. It also serves as a gateway for trade and transportation routes between China and Pakistan. Disputed territory. India also claims sovereignty over the Shaksgam Valley as part of its territory of Jammu and Kashmir. However, it has been under the control of China since the Sino-Pakistani agreement, and Pakistan considers it as part of its northernmost territory. Limited access. The Shaksgam Valley is largely inaccessible to the general public due to its remote location, harsh terrain, and sensitive border area. It is primarily used for military purposes and limited scientific expeditions. Shaksgam Valley, also known as the Trans-Karakoram Tract, is a narrow strip of territory located in the northeastern part of Gilgit-Baltistan in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Most of the tract is composed of the Shaksgam Valley and was formerly administered as part of Shigar, a district formerly a tehsil in the Baltistan region. A polo ground in Shaksgam was built by the Amacha royal family of Shigar, and the Rajas of Shigar used to invite the emirs of Khotan to play polo there. Most of the names of the mountains, lakes, rivers, and passes are in Balti-Ladakhi, suggesting that this land had been part of the Baltistan-Ladakh region for a long time. The tract is one of the most inhospitable areas of the world, with some of the highest mountains. Bounded by the Kunlun Mountains in the north, and the Karakoram Peaks to the south, including Broad Peak, K2 and Gushabrum. In the southeast it is adjacent to the highest battlefield in the world on the Siachen Glacier region, which is controlled by India. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious and stay tuned.